Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to SpaceChem, first episode, new series. Got some butter. That looks good. So SpaceChem is kind of like a game, a puzzle game, and you manipulate molecules and atoms to make different chemicals using various different ways. I'll get into it as we go. I played this, I bought this game like 3 years ago, played a little bit of it, but never really finished it. This game, from what I remember, can get brutally difficult down the road. So this should be fun. It's going to be heavily puzzle based. I did a little test run to see how the audio and video sounded and looked rather, and got a little chance to remember the controls. All right, so what we're doing here is we're going to take this oxygen atom from this input and move it to this output. That's all this one is doing. So to do that, we need to let the input know that we want something. So that's what this in A is. This is input alpha. We want to let input alpha know to drop off an oxygen. It's going to be dropped off in the exact location it shows. So it's going to be these two squares. Then I'm going to grab it from this position, carry it over here, rotate it once counterclockwise, bring it over here, drop it off here, and then output it. It doesn't have to usually, most of the time, from what I could tell, it never has to really be outputted the same exact way as it looks. Nor does it even have to be the same shape. It just has to be the same in terms of bonds and things like that. So if I run this, you'll see grab, rotate, drops it off output. Grab, rotate, drops it off output. It just keeps doing that over and over. Ta-da! And it tells me this is how many cycles it took, how many reactors I used, and how many symbols I used. Now, there is a bunch of different ways you could do that. This is the way that the game wants me to do it. But you can do it even faster. If you just do this, don't rotate it, bring it over to this point, and drop it off. If you grab from here and, it has to go a little further though. If you just do that, that works. That's all you require. So you'll grab, move it over here, drop it off. Oh, except for I need to drop it off sooner. Like that. Like that. See? Just a little bit faster. See, now it's 139. You can keep trying to min-max it as much as you want. I'll show you another example. You could actually just remove this part of it entirely and make it even shorter. And it does literally the same thing. Now it's 119. So you can really min-max the heck out of levels if you really want to. I'm probably not going to do too much of that, but So atoms are the building blocks of all matter. I don't know if you knew this, guys, but atoms are the building blocks of all matter, which is true. Molecules consist of one or more atoms joined by bonds. That's what these little lines are. This is basically a double bonded O2. It's got two oxygen atoms. This is air. It's oxygen. Atoms of the same element have the same properties. Oxygen, carbon, and iron are example of elements. A molecule is manipulated by a Waldo, which is that thing that was moving around, that little red circle that was grabbing things and moving it around. That's what a Waldo is. It's moved as a single unit, meaning if there's bonds connected, it will, whatever point it grabs from, it'll move the whole molecule. Water, methane, and salt are examples of what is salt? It's sodium chloride. Yeah, I remember a little bit about that stuff. So it wants me to input this. It wants me to change it and then right click on it to show you can change it by going blue layer, alpha, B, or beta rather. You could do that, or you could just switch over by pressing tab. And if you want to change it, you can still change it. So go up, right. We want to grab from here. This is hydrogen, and it's letting me finish it out. If I grab from here, it's going to tell me no. But if I grab from there, that means I could drop it off in much shorter time and then output it. And that's basically the fastest it can be done. Yeah. So let's do that. You don't tell me, game. I do what I want. There we go. So 118 cycles. You can see the cycles and everything in the bottom right corner. I'll show you down here. Cycles, symbols, reactors. So it shows me the progress. I think this is like par, basically. So I need to take gold and platinum and move them to their correct outputs. So platinum's down here, needs to go up here. Gold's up here, needs to go down here. So to do that, there's a bunch of ways I could do that. I could have them crisscross. I can have them run in and out of each other, which is usually the best way to do it. There's a bunch of ways you could do this. You can move around the start as well. You can move it around all over, anywhere you want. Okay, so, whoop, that was timer. Let's take care of that. I want to input grab from here, and I need to get it to this output. So that. And it's going to drop there, and then output. Right? Then this one is going to grab from here. So we'll grab there, input there. And I think this will go at different times. Oh, but it needs to go up one more. So we'll do that, and then it'll drop it there and output. Now the problem is we may run into each other. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And it looks like we're definitely going to. Yep. So reaction error. Collisions between atoms are not allowed. So we ran into each other. Caused a collision, which caused everything to go say no. So what we can do is there's a bunch of ways we can handle this. We could do this, move this along further, which forces that to take longer. So we can do that. That's the incorrect output though. We need to output that, and this one needs to output that. Those are the incorrect outputs. But yeah, this just kind of makes it take a little bit longer to get there, which means they're kind of a little bit more off on their rotations here. That's probably the fastest way to do it, if I had to wager. Let's just move the starting point. Oh, they did bump into each other eventually. Let's do that. Speed it up. Eventually they will run into each other. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna have to probably sync it, which I'm not a fan of. The other thing you can do is make them the same exact size. So if I were to do this, move this down here, grab that, move this down here. Now they're the same exact size, they're gonna go at the same exact pace. So if I move these both here, put this right behind this and behind this, but if I move this one further back, like that, then they should be off, but they should also not ever cross paths at this rate, because they're the same exact size and sequence. So we'll just do that. It's probably the easiest way to do it. Probably not the most efficient though. Close. Hey, 157, that's not bad. All right, an introduction into bonding. An introduction into bondage. Okay, so it's letting you know about syncing. I'll show you and kind of explain that, as well as the bonding. These are the bonding little points. So it's letting you know you can move the starting position. When in a grab, they want me to force it to be a grab, go down, go right. Then they want this one to be input B, up. They want me to force it to be a grab by right-clicking it, clicking grab. And I want me to move the bonding molecule points there, sync this up here and here. We'll do a drop here and a bind here. Move this down and over. So go up, wrong one, and then over. We're going to drop on this point. There we go. Drop and then output like that. So what this is going to do is this is going to pick up this, sync here while this one is syncs here. Once these two sync together, once they hit these points together, this one will obviously move first because it's ahead of it, and it'll drop this here. Meanwhile, this one will come by, bond it, bring it over here, and output it. That's the plan. So as you can see, now we turned silver and fluorine into silver fluoride. Just speed that up. And I think there's a way to do that quicker, just by looking at it. Seems like moving this up here, shortening the distance that needs to go. Dropping here and moving directly over. Oh no. Well, actually I could do that if I do this. That's literally the shortest distance, I think. And then this one doesn't need to go that far. You can actually go here, drop here, and output. Yeah, and that'll be a much faster time. There we go, down to 120. So you can really min-max the hell out of it if you want. Brief history of SpaceChem. Just telling you that atoms have a maximum of 3 bonds, and that's dependent on which element. Hydrogen can only have 1, oxygen can only have 2, and anything above 3 or more can have up to 3 bonds. So we have hydrochloric acid, we have hydrogen and chlorine, so we need to make hydrochloric acid. Pretty straightforward stuff. We just need to do this basically. Let's see if I can do this really short. Right there. So this is going to I'm gonna need it to sink though. So maybe moving it over a little bit further. Yeah, and I can have it sink here. And then grab from there and then do that. And then come back around. Oh, you know what? This is at the bottom. It may be better for this one to be the one to grab. Yeah, so I'll have this bond here. And what we'll do is we'll have this one, we'll move it over to here. Have this grab from here, come down. Drop here, then sink, then come back. And this one will continue onwards to here, like that. Which means I can drop it here. Oops. Other color. Drop it here and then output it. That should work. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, that works. All right, 121.18. It's pretty good. You kind of get the gist of what's going on. This is the first level is like, these are mainly just tutorial, kind of giving you the idea of how things work. This isn't about removing bonds. So we have fluorine, which is bonded, F2, and we need to make it just fluorine, just one atom, no bonding. So to do that, we just want to we want to take the fluorine. Oops. And I can just do this basically, I think. I can just do that even. Yeah. And then minus the bond. So I want to do this, grab, minus the bond. It'll have it'll hold 1 with it. It'll leave 1 there. So what I want to do with that is just move this starting point up. Grab it here. Or even here, if I want. Nah, I think that's safer. It's a safer position for it. Then bring it down and around. And then this one will come like that. That should work. I could bring it further over to sync up the size. It's probably not a bad idea. It means I won't have to use sinks. And I can move the starting position back a little bit. Move this one forward a little bit. So I'm going to want to grab here, drop here, and then output this Y, or whatever that is. And then this one's going to drop here, and then do the same thing. Oh, output. Oh, no. Output. There we go. That one. That should work. Grab, break that off. There we go. Perfect. Blah, blah, blah. 67, not bad. 16 symbols used. That's pretty good. Way below average. It's because I didn't use any syncing. If you make the paths on both the red and blue the same length, it's never going to deviate from whatever it was. So from there, you can sometimes just adjust the starting point, and that's enough to kind of keep them off balance so they're not hitting each other. All right, so we're on like the first real level at this point. Double bonds. Cernimere 4. All right, so this one we need to take oxygen and double bond it. Pretty straightforward stuff. I'm going to start here, go down. Actually, I'm going to start here, go left, then down. Like this. And I think I will drop it off here and head back up. So we're going to go in, grab, drop. I could maybe sink from that point. Might not be a terrible idea. We'll see. We'll see if that needs to be done. Actually, I'm pretty sure it would need to be done. So I'm actually going to make this have the longer route. Yeah. And then from here, we're going to request, grab. This one needs to be A. Press grab, go down. Nope. Not that way. Down. There we go. It's going to go this way, bond them together, up and over. And those two bonded oxygen will be dropped off. It needs to be double bonded, so I need to actually bond twice. And then those two bonded oxygen will be dropped off here and output. All right, let's see if these are about the same length. First thing they do is run into each other. So let's move that back. See if that helps. There we go. All right, double bonded. Double bonded. Are they going to run into each other eventually? Doesn't look like it. All right, that's a pretty short run. I think that's probably about as short as it'll get. Not bad. I could shorten it up a little bit further, but the fact that these are like perfectly timed, I kind of want to leave it as is. I could move these over here and have it bond sooner and have this blue one be shorter. That's not bad though. 139 cycles, 17 symbols used. I didn't use any syncs, and that's probably why. Pretty good. Best left unanswered. All right. All right, and there's a lot of story to this too. Lots of reading. So if you're like, you know, the story of it, there's a lot of story to it. I'm just more about playing I like playing the stuff. I just like farting around with it. I think it's fun. Okay, so with this one, I'm going to do a little bit of a weird little dipsy doodle with this one. It's going to be strange. But I'm going to drop this off here, head back around. So we're going to request a grab from here, drop it off here or here. I think if I drop it here. No. I want to, let's try that. And I think if I take this red one and go down like this, bam, bam, and come back around, then over, and then like that. I think that'll work. That's probably not as short as it needs to be though. Kind of looking at it. It could probably be shorter. In fact, I can move this all over, move this starting position over, which can allow me, no, because I still need to grab it from there. Yeah. I could still move this up. No, I can't do that either. Well, yeah, I can. I can do that. And then if I grab from here, if it drops off, let's go like this, and then move that over. So it grabs, and then I can have this one request a lot later here and move this back a little bit. So grab from there. If I have it drop off, it has to drop off from here though. To do that, I would have to kind of do, something like this. Drop it there. Then this would bond. And I think if I come around this way, I would have to rotate it to do it again. Bond. It'll still be facing. I would have to rotate it twice, bond it again to come back. Yeah. Or I could do this maybe and bond it here as well. So it's those two. No, it would have to rotate for me to do that. Yeah, it would still have to rotate. Or wait, would it? Yeah, it would definitely have to. Crap. Looks like doing this and having it rotate twice might be the way to go. Bond it again. Then I can drop it off. I'd have to go back further. This is actually getting a little longer than it probably needs to be. And output. Let's try that. See what that does. There's one. There's the other. That one drops it off. Bonds, rotates. Bonds it a third time. And bonks headfirst into that. Yeah, this needs to be synced. Alright, this got ugly, like real quick. Alright, let's try that. There we go. That's probably not the best it could have done. In fact, I'm almost guaranteeing it's not. Yeah, not even close. Oh well, I mean, I got it. Just out of curiosity, what else could I do to this? I can move the whole thing up by one, for one. Do this. Force it to bond sooner. And if I turn it at any point, it's not going to make any difference, yeah. Which means I can bring this up like that. This can come up. This. That compacts it a lot more, but I still run into the same problem where I have to rotate and kind of do this weird thing. So if I bond it here, it's these two. If I bond it again, it's these two. I have to bond it a third time. What I could maybe do, what if I try and stick a bond here? Let's delete these real quick. Move this up and move that up. What happens if I do that? Is it going to let it bond multiple times with that? It did. Okay. So by having another bond there, it was in the position to do another bond. So that actually works. Yeah. So there's ways to kind of do it a little quicker. This also, because of that, doesn't need to go this far over. So yeah, that really made things go a lot quicker, which means I can use this start over, do that. That should still work. Oh, nope. Now we're running into each other. If I do this, I think that would still work. Oh, wait. No, it's because I need this to move back. That needs to be dropped there. This doesn't need to go this way anymore. Does it? No. No, this doesn't need to go this way anymore. This is actually not even necessary. That goes up like this. And then over. So this can be dropped here, synced at the end, and output there. Let's try that. There's our 3 bonds and output. 3 bonds, output. Yeah, that works. Look at that. That's way better. So you can really min-max the heck out of what you're doing. Cool. I think that's going to do it for first episode, though. So, get out of here. Yeah, that's going to do it for this first episode. Yeah, this game is going to get really stressful. Or not stressful, but complicated. Really complicated here. Probably the next episode or two. I don't know how far I'm going to get. I don't know if I'm going to beat it. But it just sounded fun to play. And I'm enjoying it. So I'll keep playing it as that goes. But I hope you enjoyed the episode. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I've been ChaoticOrder, and I will see you next time.